KTRS. Friend of the show. We're having a whole bunch of friends on the show. I don't normally like to be friends with politicians, but the two I like. James Knowles last hour. Tom Schneider, mayor of Florissant. How are you, sir?
Great, McGraw. How are you doing?
Good. We've invited you on the show because there's an election coming up in April. We just had an election, but there's another election coming up in April, and there's a couple of propositions on the ballot that are... I still have a hard time trying to understand, so we invited you on the show to sort of explain it to us all so we know what's going on.
Yeah, I'll do the best I can.
Okay, so election day for everybody is in April, correct?
April 5th.
April 5th, and that's for the entire state?
Correct. That's the municipal election date every year.
Every year, okay. All right, now, with April 5th, there's going to be something called Prop B.
Correct.
Only in Florissant, or is it going to be all over?
Now, Prop B is going to be, we try to get together and not everybody got the memo, but almost everybody got the memo so that we could talk about one proposition. So unincorporated St. Louis County and most of the municipalities that are doing it, and not all are doing it, there's about 20 in St. Louis County and about 10 in St. Charles County, and all but 5 are using B. Now, St. Charles, City of St. Charles and Town and Country are the two biggest ones that didn't get the memo.
Right.
Theirs are either A or V, and then Cool Valley, Bell Ridge, and Calvert Park is either A or V. I forgot to bring my list. But
okay, all right.
So all but those 5 is B.
Okay, but so it's Prop B.
Right.
Now, what is it for the entire state, or is it just...
Well, it is an entire state, but not. I don't know what they're doing outstate.
Gotcha.
We just got together with St. Charles County.
St. Charles, St. Louis County, and St. Louis City. Okay. What does Prop B say?
Well, Prop B is to try to correct a glitch that was caused by the Supreme Court back in 2012. For decades, when you went to get your car licensed, you would pay your local sales tax. Then, Missouri is the only state that does that. Since the Supreme Court botched it up, the legislature fixed it, the governor didn't like the fix, and they gave us a temporary reprieve that we have to fix by the end of this year, unless the car dealers get an extension, and we don't know if they will. But the car dealers and the municipalities are all collaborating together to get Proposition B and its equivalent passed throughout the state. And every municipality and unincorporated St. Louis County has to do it separately.
Okay, so you're saying it might pass in Florissant but fail in Ferguson, and then pass in Kirkwood and fail in Webster Groves?
That's potential. I'd like to be positive and think that it's a common sense thing. It makes sense for the municipalities. It makes sense for all the dealers in Missouri. We don't want to put our dealer friends like Johnny Londoff and all of our other dealers at any kind of disadvantage to other states. There's 8 states bordering Missouri, and we don't want all of our business to go there. Because all the guys that are mechanics that live in your neighborhood and all the salesmen that live in your neighborhood, they'll be out of a job.
Okay, so the Prop B says what? That the sales tax, explain this to me because it's really convoluted. The sales tax will stay in Missouri, is that right? Explain this to me.
Well, and it says yes, it says, "Shall the city of Florissant, Missouri, continue applying and collecting the local sales tax on titling of motor vehicles and other such vehicles like boats and trailers."
Right.
And stuff like that.
So if I live in Florissant and I buy a car in Illinois, I still have to pay 1% to Florissant, right? Because I live in Florissant?
Right. Missouri is the only state that collects their tax this way. All the other states, if you buy a car, you'd pay it at the dealer.
Right.
But Missouri has a weird way of collecting tax, but they've done it that way forever. When you pay it when you go get it licensed, your new vehicle license.
Right. Okay. Right. So you can buy. So if this goes away, you would basically, you're telling people to go across the river to buy a car.
Yeah, and then what they're going to do is you're probably going to end up paying the same amount because
they have their own taxes and fees and everything else over there.
Right. So what's going to happen is all the Missouri dealers are going to be disadvantaged. A lot of them will go out of business, and or they'll be less profitable. They'll have fewer mechanics, fewer salesmen, and all that.
Right. So you're going to pay the same, but you're going to do a disservice to the town you live in because the town's not going to get the taxes.
Right. Yeah, we're still going to have to provide you police services.
Right. So in other words, it's this is so convoluted. If let's just take Webster Groves and Kirkwood, if it fails in one and it makes it in the other, that means say Webster Groves would get the sales tax, but then Kirkwood wouldn't get the sales tax.
In that scenario, I believe Kirkwood already has it, but I mean,
Right, but
in that scenario,
in that example, okay. So you want to vote yes? You want to vote yes on B?
Correct. Now, last November, several cities did fix it. Richmond Heights fixed it with a no vote, so I just want to not confuse anybody. This time we're wanting a yes vote. Sedalia and Hannibal fixed it last November, but a majority of the cities in the state are trying to fix it in April. Some of them fixed it years ago. Like Hazelwood fixed it years ago inadvertently with a use tax, So this does not affect every city. It affects about 2/3 of the cities in the state,
Right.
and all the car dealers in the state.
Right. So this, from what I understand, the Supreme Court made some ruling. The legislature fixed it.
Correct.
And then the governor vetoed it.
Correct.
Which is now why each town has to go through this process to get it passed.
Right, and but they did give us a reprieve. There was a short period of time where we were all messed up, and you had advertisements from Belleville and Granite
I
City.
do find it interesting that the governor would veto a bill that would help his state's car dealers to the detriment of out-of-state car dealers.
He was doing it on a legal premise. I'm not a lawyer, so.
And you're certainly not his spokesman, but
Right.
if he ever showed up on our show, first of all, I'd faint, but second of all, it's another one of the questions we can put on the list. All right, so it's Prop B in most places. You want to vote yes on Prop B, but if it's a V or an S or something else.
V or an A. Are
V
the
or
only
an
two
A.
acronyms.
Okay.
And, there are small towns of, like I already mentioned, and Town and Country and St. Charles City are
Right.
the two biggest ones.
But the jargon on the ballot, it basically, when it's talking about car taxes,
That'll be the same jargon.
It'll be the same jargon.
Right.
And it's all convoluted and confusing. But if you want the sales tax, the 1% sales tax to go to the town you live in, vote yes.
Right.
If you want to pay the same for a car and have the sales tax go somewhere else, vote no.
Right, and then this may or may not be the only thing on different communities' ballots. They may have other initiatives as well. Without getting too confusing, like we have one called A and one called R. Those in regards to maintain property values. So we put that together. We use those acronyms so we can say vote for the bar. B, A, and R.
Oh.
Everybody knows what bar is.
Oh boy, who was the rocket scientist who came up with that one?
Well, I'm not a rocket scientist, but I have.
Was that you? Who's the ad wizard who came up with that one? All right, so if you're in Florissant, vote for the bar.
That's correct.
That's right.
Right.
I would think all three should pass without a problem.
Yeah, I have to give credit to Council Vice President Jackie Pagano for coming up with that idea, which was pretty brilliant.
Give him credit or criticism, depending on where you stand. All right, what else is going on in Florissant? Anything else we should know about?
Well, we got recognized by the AARP for our complete streets. They took out a half-page ad in the Post Tuesday, which I didn't see until I was having breakfast. So thanks you to the AARP for giving us kudos.
Yeah, you betcha. And we should say, in terms of full disclosure, Walmart wanted a big fat tip from your town, and what'd you tell them?
No.
Let me ask you that again. Walmart wanted a TIF from your town. What did you say?
We said you'll have to build it on your own nickel.
And so they went somewhere else, right?
They threatened to go to another location, and I said, I think that'd be a great idea, but they stayed in Florissant.
And so they built it in Florida. Was shocking. Breaking news here that an elected official said, thank you very much, go somewhere else, stood up to Walmart, and guess what? Walmart ended up building it. Didn't they? They built it exactly where they wanted to?
They did, and it just shows we have a terrific economic engine. Business is booming for us.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is Tom Schneider, mayor of Florissant. Another good local public servant who is trying to do right. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you, McGraw. Thanks for having me.
You got it. 8:19 here, Big 550 KTRS. Let me